here. I'm going to attempt to share my screen. I am screen sharing. Can anybody see my screen?
Yes, we see it.
All right. Stuff and where to shove it. I have this all written out. So if you have a question, put it in the chat. We'll let Sam pull them up at the end. I can go back to it if I have to. Okay. You all know how to clean your house. I have no magic wand, only some tips and tricks that may help. First of all, how does it get so cluttered? The days of kids doing Saturday chores before we could watch cartoons are over. When I was young, my siblings and I raced through our chores because whoever finished first and passed mom's inspection got to choose the cartoons. Nowadays, if you have kids, your Saturdays are likely filled with running your children to one event or another. I know during wrestling season, I spent many a 12-hour Saturday up at the crack of dawn to drive a carload of sleepy young men to an out-of-town match. While the boys weighed in and warmed up, we parents sat on the bleachers for hours. All of the joy of watching my son pin his opponent in 1 minute or less. As memorable and exciting as those minutes were, the hours of just sitting were not conducive to a clean house. Once home, the bag of, oh dear God, your clothes stink laundry hits the floor, and the immediate priority is to rid your home of that awful stench while your offspring takes a long, hot, cleansing shower. And that's one way clutter starts. Little fires forcing you to change priorities, like doing that laundry that is causing the house to stink, or the frantic piling of towels around the washing machine that just sprung a leak. Then spending the rest of the day pulling it away from the wall and getting that plumber to fix it. And then putting everything back and washing the now triple load of laundry that the impromptu flood caused. Or the pleasant interruptions, like your neighbor popping in with a pitcher of jalapeno cucumber margaritas to try. It would just be rude to make her leave so you could clean the house. This is the stuff that causes your priorities to shift and puts the cleaning and tidying on the back burner. So is a little clutter all that bad? Well, define a little. One pair of shoes you kicked off by your chair when you finally got to sit down for the night that you take to your room when you go to bed, not a problem. So much stuff that you can't tell the color or material of your counter? Yes, that's a problem. Clutter is an unhealthy, both physically and mentally. Physically, because you can't clean under clutter. So dirt collects and can grow bacteria and attract insects. It's emotionally unhealthy because of the frustration and stress it causes. Recall the frustration of trying to find your keys. Frustration turns to rage. Rage pushes up your blood pressure. Panic sets in as you realize you are now so late for work. This is not a good way to start your day. So how do we get clutter under control? Set rigid deadlines. For me, I invite someone I enjoy spending time with that I know is going to judge my housekeeping skills. That's right. I asked my son to join us for Sunday dinner because I know that if he ever sees the house cluttered, he will say, see, I wasn't the reason the house was messy. I don't live here anymore, and it's messy now. So step one, invite a judgy friend or family over for dinner or a card game or to watch Sunday football. Whatever the reason, you now have a motivating factor and a deadline to get it done. Step two, I can't emphasize this enough. Avoid distractions. No phone games, no computer games, no Facebook, no Netflix You cannot effectively tidy up while stopping to watch or listen to what is going on the TV. Don't even glance at your electronics. Turn everything off, even the notifications, especially the notifications. You have a deadline. Focus. You look around. It's overwhelming. Where do you even start? Get a box. Big enough to carry a lot of stuff, but not so big you cannot carry it easily. The boxes the cats play in simply won't do. Too much hair. Now you have your box. Start at one end of the counter and put everything in the box. Do not stop to put this one thing away. No, fill the box. The reason for this is because if you find one thing on the counter that goes in the bedroom and you immediately go to put it away, the chances of getting distracted are imminent. There are clothes scattered on your bedroom floor. So now you go to the laundry room, you start laundry, the cat threw up a hairball, you stop and clean that, and then it's something else, and you end up never going back to clear off the counter until you are too tired. So fill up the box. You will undoubtedly find more stuff that goes in the bedroom, and filling up the box with everything that goes in one location cuts down on the number of trips carrying things back and forth to their proper spots. Don't get sidetracked. Your priority, your only focus right now is to empty the box. The laundry can wait until it is its turn to go in the box. You may want to get a separate box for papers. That is fine for the party, but make sure you take those papers out the day after the party. Do not forget the papers. Repeat filling and emptying the box until the area you are going to entertain in is clear. Now clean it. It is so much easier to dust, vacuum, mop, and sanitize when nothing is in the way. If you truly hate cleaning or have a disability, old age is an acceptable disability. Vacuuming can cause a ridiculous amount of back pain. Cleansers can aggravate asthma, and kneeling to scrub a tub can bring tears and sometimes an inability to stand up for a while. So if you can afford a maid, get a maid. You still have to tidy up and put things away so she can clean. She just does the heavy lifting. Think of her as your judgy friend who cleans for you. Doesn't the clean, uncluttered view? Oh, not clicking on it. Before. Doesn't the clean, uncluttered view just make you go, ah? As a designer, I have often been asked to design using the principles of feng shui. I've read a few books on the subject. Let me summarize it for you. Keep your space clean and uncluttered. Sure, there are other things about feng shui, like your orientation to the compass according to your birth sign and the flow of energy, but mostly it all comes down to keeping it clean and uncluttered so the energy can flow. How do we end up with all this clutter? We started out with everything we own fitting in one or two boxes. Then we meet someone special, and your two homes become one, effectively doubling your stuff. Family has to celebrate the happy union with, you guessed it, more stuff. Time goes by, you add kids to this happy mix and they need stuff. You realize you need more space for your stuff and find the perfect house. And it is so big and there's so much room and now you want more. No, you need more stuff. Your aging parents downsize and want you to keep the family heirlooms they no longer have room for. More stuff. Your spouse's uncle passes away and leaves all his stuff to you two. He had a lot of stuff. Your lovely house now has more stuff than space. Whatever do you do? Time for hard choices. According to Marie Kondo, author of The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, if it doesn't spark joy, get rid of it. This candy dish belonged to my grandmother. She always had candy in it, even when my mom was little. And when mom inherited it, she carried on the tradition. It's glass. We were never allowed to get the candy ourselves because we might break it, and it was precious to Mom. There were 5 kids in my house, and none of us could resist the lure of M&Ms. This thing is so chipped that it sprays tiny glass shards every time you close the lid. We don't use it for candy anymore. There is no way you could eat something from it without also chewing on glass. But it is precious to me, so I keep it on display and it brings me joy. Also makes my siblings jealous that I got it. When I leave this world or downsize, my son will likely throw it away, as he should. This thing I love is an accident waiting to happen. Does it give you joy? Keep it. No joy, a burden? Give yourself permission to get rid of it. I know I have a closet of clothes organized in 3 sizes. Do any of you? Boxes of clothes that you are bound and determined to wear again. So did my mom. I found beautiful pleated wool skirts that she had for over 60 years because she was going to get back into them one day. One day never came, and now those beautiful skirts are eaten up with moths and good for nothing except maybe dog bed filling. So go through your closet. Set an entire weekend aside for this. It's going to be emotional and depressing. Try every piece of clothing on that you have. If it doesn't fit, get rid of it. Does it fit? Yes. Keep it. No. Get rid of it. Soothe yourself with the offer of new clothes that should act. Soothe yourself with the offer of new clothes should you ever actually get back down to the size that doesn't fit. If it does fit, but the hanger has a coating of dust so thick you can't tell the color of the hanger, then this item also falls into the get it out of the house category. Too expensive to just give away? There are several options to sell things online. This is another weekend project. Depending on the amount of stuff you have collected over the years, this is a process. But make an appointment with yourself to start now. An organized and uncluttered closet is a joyful experience. Heirlooms. The same process is true for the heirlooms and memorabilia. Do they spark joy? Yes. Keep them. No. Donate them. Get them out of the house. I actually organized my closet by color, type of clothing, and season. I am fortunate in that I currently have the world's largest closet, so I have space to do this. My winter clothes are hung up starting with browns, moving into beige, then white, then gray, and finally black. I then start organizing by color according to the rainbow, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. I do the same for my summer, autumn, and spring clothes. I mean, this is Tennessee, and I could need an item from each season all in the same day. No keeping summer clothes in boxes in the shed until winter is over. Tennessee is a whole new world for me. Once you have emptied your closet of unwearables, organizing by color is easy, and you will save so much time when selecting that perfect outfit you have in mind for the day, instead of searching vainly to try to find that perfect blouse to go with the perfect pants. Organization is key in the laundry room and can be a huge time saver. I keep a hanging rod near the dryer with plenty of hangers. If your dryer has a buzzer, the more annoying, the better, so you can't ignore it. Make sure you hit the dryer as soon as it finishes so you can hang your clothes right away. This stops wrinkles before they start and makes it that much easier to put things away. You can sort by color as you hang them, making it easier to put away in your perfectly organized closet. Time savers make life easier. If you don't have wall space for a hanging rod, you can find a portable clothes rack to keep in the laundry room or garage if your machines are there. A wheeled laundry basket hanging rod combo like laundromats have is ideal, especially if your house is all one level. Just wash them, hang them, and roll them to the appropriate closets. It speeds up laundry day exponentially. I was asked about what to do for an entry hall tree or a mudroom storage. I follow the Frank Lloyd Wright method of organization. Design a place for it, then keep it that way. His homes often had built-in furniture because he believed that his design was the best way to use the space, so there was no need to move anything. I feel that way about storage. Organize for it and keep it covered so the room is always neat and uncluttered. Tall trees grow sloppy jackets and hats like maple trees grow leaves. And just like maple trees, the jackets generally end up on the floor. My opinion is to put them behind closed doors, so a closet by the entry is imperative. What about family memorabilia that isn't really something to display, like baby's first onesie or teddy bear? That's a tough one. I have to admit that I am a borderline hoarder, an organized borderline hoarder, but a near hoarder nonetheless. I have all my son's elementary school drawings and papers organized in binders, big binders, by grade on my bookshelves. I know I have a problem. Another shelf has 3 baseball gloves, my husband's college glove, his father's high school glove, and his grandfather's minor league catcher's glove. They are gnarly display of nearly black leather, but they give my husband joy and a swelling of pride every time he passes by them. So the heirlooms that you want to keep, but don't want to display until you are ready to get rid of them, keep them in boxes. Moving is a great way to get rid of that type of thing. My husband had more trophies than I had clothes when we first met. Literally 4 large boxes of trophies, and we kept winning more trophies on our co-ed ball team. We certainly didn't want to display them all. So at our pre-moving yard sale, I asked him if any of those trophies actually meant anything to him anymore. He pulled out 4 trophies and 2 wall plaques that we still display next to the family ball gloves. We sold the rest at the yard sale for $1 a piece. The neighborhood kids were thrilled, and we cleared out 4 boxes of stuff. You may think you can't get rid of stuff because it could be useful someday. Yes, you might be able to use it someday, but someday is not guaranteed. If you ever want a reality check on what happens to all your stuff when you pass away, go to an estate sale. Do not take any money with you. The bargain temptations are extreme. Instead, pretend that what you see is all your stuff that you will never be able to use again, and imagine how much money you could make by selling it all now. So sell it now. Use the money for a memorable vacation and have the added value of an uncluttered home. One way to cut back on clutter is to prevent it from coming into your house in the first place. The DMA choice, or do not mail service. When you get mail, open it, deal with it, don't put it away for later. Tell yourself to only touch mail 1 time. Deal with it or throw it away. Going back to it again and again is just wasting time. The DMAchoice.org is an excellent place to get off of junk mail lists, email lists, all kinds of things. So I highly recommend checking that out. In summary, use a judgy friend to force a deadline for cleaning. Use the box method of focused tidying. Only keep what sparks joy and organize the heck out of whatever you do keep. Any questions? Sam must be on a call. Everyone's mic is muted.
Sorry, I got a call from one of our directors and had to step away. Does anybody have any questions they want to share in the chat? Feel free to unmute yourselves. Anything specifically you'd like to ask Greta about today? That's a great suggestion, Sherry. The rule of 3 for clothes. If you can't wear it 3 different ways, get rid of it.
Could you put up the address to get off all of the junk mail again? I'm gonna make a note of it or take a picture.
Sure. It's an excellent organization.
Got it. I'll take a photo. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What other questions do you have for Greta today?
I have a question, and mine is more thinking about my office. I know I have a ton of junk in my office. And I could, I'm thinking about the tips you shared. Do you have any tips around specifically all the things around the office that might be helpful? I'm thinking about swag, inherited swag, office supplies, all the random things that yes, Sam knows. Okay, yes.
If you've ever been to my office, I don't have room for swag because I have so many samples and things that my job requires. So in order not to get buried under work, I have no place to put swag. But I'm a little unique in that most people don't have carpet samples coming in every day and fabric samples and photos. And my job's a little unique in that regard. But Barbara Talent's desk is worse. So I think I'm good. She has 3 desks. I'm still working on 1. But yes, swag, if it doesn't bring you joy, if it's just collecting dust, I would box it up or find another home for it.
I have 2 boxes actually in my office area at home, and one I put the swag, like the office supplies and the cups and whatever, if they're not stolen by teenagers who want them. And then the same, like sometimes you get little things and it's not an office supply, but you know how you get like little small little things. Maybe they're not branded or whatever, and I have a different box for that. And then whenever the box gets full, like for the office supplies, I usually just donate it to a school. I mean, if you just take it to any elementary school, especially middle school, high school, whatever, ring the bell, say, hey, I got free office supplies. Somebody there wants it. A teacher does not need to be buying more Post-it notes and giveaway
Exactly.
stuff. Yeah, especially elementary schools, because a lot of teachers do like, the little treasure box or something where the kids can get a prize, and that, our little Post-it notes and whatnot are great prizes for kids. They love stuff like that.
It's a great idea.
I love that idea. I'm gonna have to do that. I know that we've donated to the Knox County Teachers Depot before. I think I may start a box for them. Thanks for the idea.
Great suggestions, great ideas. Anything else today? Other questions about home organization, interiors in general? Greta is a Jill of many trades. She covers a lot of ground here for us in facility services.
I really thought this would be more about paint color selections and things, but hey, I'm happy to talk about clutter. It's
Oh,
everywhere.
we'll bring you back for that sometime too. Just another
We can't
moment.
hear you, Heather.
How about now?
Oh,
Yep.
there you are.
So glad I talk with my hands so that you all can see that. So I'm Heather. I'm in the Family and Consumer Sciences Department with UT Extension. But one of the challenges for me is both at work and at home is I'm only 4'9". And so what happens is a lot of this storage that I have up high, I tend not to use. And so I jam like lower cabinets like this and stuff like that. Just wondering if you had any suggestions around things like that.
Well, when I was young, I was always the smallest in the class. So I can relate to that. But after puberty, I kind of changed. So I'm a foot taller than you are right now.
Yeah, see, I didn't get the memo. Like I stopped in 7th grade and I was like, whatever, I have other things to do.
So for higher things, I actually, even being as tall as I am, when we designed our kitchen in our house, I put storage wherever I can find it. I don't like kitchen cabinets that stop a foot below the ceiling. That's wasted storage space as far as I'm concerned. I keep a steps ladder in my kitchen.
Yeah.
You would probably have to keep a 5-foot ladder for you. But
It is
I'm
a
just
large,
saying.
it's a tall step stool. Yes.
Yes. But I put cabinets all the way to my ceiling. And then those upper shelves are where I put the punch bowl I inherited from my mother.
Yeah, the
The things that I
infrequently
use
used.
once a year, but I need a place for them. The things you hardly ever get to, but things like the blender or the coffee maker, that's the premium space things you use every day. That's where you put them in the locations that make it easy to get to it. I don't know if you have pull-out drawers on your kitchen cabinets.
I have
Or-
what I have is I have a cupboard that's the pantry and very deep shelves. And so what I've done is basically use like those plastic bins. And so I've kind of made it where it will pull out that way. But I do have it does go, the cereal boxes start at my head, the shelf for that. And
The
my-
lightest, yes, definitely put the lightest stuff up high.
yeah,
That's so for deep spaces, like I hate bottom cabinets. And whenever I design a kitchen now, I do the pull-out drawers.
Yeah.
If you have the old deep cabinets, or like you said, the pantry that is deep
Yeah.
and you can't reach to the back, Aldi's is one of my favorite stores. And once a year, they sell these rolling wire racks, 15 inches wide. So you need a cabinet that's at least 15 inches wide. And that's an awesome way to utilize that deep space and to be able to reach it without getting a step stool or knocking
Right.
everything over in front of it.
yeah, or climbing the counters or.
Mhm.
Thank you very
No
much.
problem.
I am curious about what you have to say about paint colors too.
If you love it, it's okay.
Oh, I really respect that. I like that.
You
Someone who painted her stair risers, UT orange, at home. Everybody thinks that it's the craziest thing, but it's
Did
orange
you
and
paint,
white.
was the top? Well, I wouldn't have painted the tread white. I would have gone with smoky gray.
No, I did the tops are like, I guess it's pine or
Oh.
it's just regular wood. But the risers would, it's an older home. And so they were getting scuffed up and I said, we need to paint them and clean them up. And so we did. And when we went to go paint them, I was like, what if we did every other step in UT orange? And it's like a split tri-level kind of thing. So
Yeah.
there's only a couple.
I
in
have
each
the same,
step,
right?
but
I have the same thing.
yeah, my mother has a lot of opinions about
All mothers do.
it.
I'm a mother. I have opinions. I
I
try
do
to keep them
too,
to
yep.
myself. But honestly, if it brings you joy and it's your house, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if I'm watching a DIY TV show and they've done things that make me insane, I'm like, oh, you're terrible. I can judge them all day long. But for your house, if it makes you happy and I'm not concerned that it will cause you to get dizzy and fall, then I'm okay with it.
Thank you. I will be sure to report back to my mother, the expert advice.
Any follow-up questions today? I think one thing we can take away is that our home spaces should be spaces that bring us joy, whether it is the paint color or the items in the room. But that clutter can go. So
It's
who wants to come
really,
help me get rid of clutter? That's
Yeah.
the next question.
if you go to an estate sale, and also my mom downsized and passed away a couple of years ago, and seeing all that just makes you realize all this stuff that we're attached to, it's not attached to us. It doesn't care. And unless it brings you joy, it is literally a burden that is weighing you down. And a clean house is so healthy for you, both physically and mentally and emotionally. So I know it's hard work and I know there's no time for it, but if you focus on one thing at a time, it's doable. And in a focused state, you can get it done a lot quicker than you would expect. The box, oddly enough, really does help.
I've done, the box is great. I've also tried the thing where I'll just set like the timer on the microwave, like the kitchen timer, and 20 minutes, whatever, what can I do? And then I got into a habit a while back where it was one drawer a night. Like
Yep.
after I did the kitchen, it was just one. It was like this tiny bite,
Yeah,
but by
they
the
add
end
up.
of the month, it was done.
Yeah, I should have added that. Make it small enough to achieve. Like, don't look at all the bathroom drawers and go, no, because you're just gonna turn around and walk away. But like you said, one drawer at a time. That's great. Little bite-sized pieces that give you a sense of accomplishment and take you one step closer to that goal.
That momentum that makes a difference.
Thank you all for taking the time to listen to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Greta, for being here with us today. Thank you for those of you who registered. We do these facilities fundamental workshops a couple of times a year, and we would love to have you at the next one. So keep an eye out for that information as well. We'll post it on the UT calendar. It'll be on our social media through UT Facility Services. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So there's a myriad of ways to find out that information. If you have questions that you'd like to ask Greta that come up later on, feel free to send those my way, and I will share those with her. You're also going to get a recording of today's presentation in case you'd like to reference it in the future. Again, I just want to say thank you for being here, and we will let you have the rest of this hour to catch up on emails or anything else you need to do.
Bye, everyone.